You know that feeling, right? After a conversation, you start replaying it in your head thinking, why did I say that? Or maybe you just wish you could feel sure of yourself without second-guessing every single move you make. Well, what if I told you that confidence isn't something you're just born with? What if it's something you can actually build, systematically, almost automatically? That's exactly what we're going to break down today. This is the blueprint.
See, most of us have bought into a myth about confidence. We think it's this magical thing, this personality trait that some lucky people just have, and the rest of us, well, we don't. But the reality? It's something else entirely. Confidence isn't magic. It's a byproduct. It's the direct result of the habits and the systems you put into place in your everyday life. So, how do we make that jump from just wishing we were more confident to actually building it? Well, it all comes down to evidence. Every single day, your habits are creating evidence for your brain. And when those habits line up with who you want to be, your brain starts collecting proof, real proof, that says, hey, I can trust this person. And that self-trust, that's the bedrock of real automatic confidence. So let's dive into our very first habit. And honestly, if you only take one thing away from this, let it be this one: keeping promises to yourself. This is the absolute foundation. It's where you start to repair and rebuild the trust you have with the most important person in your life, you.
And here's the thing you've got to understand. Every time you tell yourself, okay, tomorrow I'm waking up early, and then you hit snooze, you're chipping away at your self-trust. It's not really about the missed workout or the page you didn't write. The real damage comes from the broken promise. That slow erosion of trust is the true source of that shaky, uncertain feeling we call low confidence.
So how do you fix it? You don't start with some massive, life-changing goal. No! You start small. You start with what's called a micro-promise, something so achievable it's almost impossible to fail. Like, I will drink 1 glass of water before my coffee, or I will write just 1 sentence today. Each time you do it, you get to check it off. And you're not just checking a box, you're stacking evidence. You're casting a tiny vote for a new identity, one that says, I am a person who follows through.
Okay, moving on to habit number 2. You have to start tracking your wins. And here's why this is so critical. Our brains are literally hardwired to scan for danger, for threats, for what's going wrong. It's an old survival mechanism. But in our modern world, it usually just works against our confidence.
Just think about your last week. You could have 5 really good days, but that one bad meeting, that one negative comment, man, it just feels 10 times heavier, doesn't it? That's your brain's negativity bias in action. And if you don't have a system to fight back, you'll end up convincing yourself you're failing, even when you're actually making a ton of progress. The tool to fight back is ridiculously simple. It's a win log. Every single day, you just write down one thing you did well. It doesn't have to be huge. You finally sent that email you were dreading? Write it down. You stayed patient in traffic? Write it down. And look, this isn't about bragging or having a big ego. It's about collecting data. You're creating a log of cold, hard, factual evidence that your brain just can't argue with. Habit number 3 is all about designing your environment. We have this idea that confidence is all about having superhuman willpower. But the truth is, confident people are often just smarter about their surroundings. They make the right choice, the easy choice, the default choice.
I absolutely love this idea of invisible confidence. It means you've set up your world to work for you, not against you. It's like swimming with the current instead of constantly fighting against it. A well-designed environment just gently nudges you in the right direction, so you don't have to burn through all your energy just resisting temptation. And here's the simple formula. Want to work out in the morning? You remove the friction. Lay your gym clothes out the night before. Want to stop scrolling on your phone? You add friction. Put the distracting apps in a folder on the last page. See? It's not about having more discipline, it's about needing less of it in the first place.
All right, time for habit number 4, and I'll be honest, this one might feel a little weird at first. It's all about embracing discomfort. Because here's the thing, real, lasting confidence, it's never, ever grown inside your comfort zone. It's forged in those moments when you choose to stretch yourself, even just a tiny bit. The key word here is micro-discomfort. Think of it like lifting weights at the gym. That resistance, that strain, that's precisely what's making you stronger. It's the same with confidence. Every time you intentionally lean into a small moment of discomfort, you're building up your resilience, which is really the backbone of unshakable self-belief.
And we're not talking about climbing a mountain here. These are small things. It could be deciding to speak up just once in a meeting when you'd normally stay quiet, or finally saying no to something when your inner people pleaser is screaming yes. Maybe it's hitting publish on that imperfect post. Every single one is a small rep that builds incredible strength over time. And that brings us right to our fifth and final habit, and this is the one that really ties everything together. It's about using what we'll call identity anchors. It's a simple idea. You consciously start acting like the person you want to become. You're closing the gap between who you are right now and who you're committed to being.
This question, this right here is your anchor. In any situation where you feel that old fear or doubt creeping in, you just pause for a second and ask yourself this: how would my most confident self handle this? Would they hesitate, or would they take the first step? This one simple question anchors your next action to your future self, not your past fears.
Now, I know what some of you might be thinking. Isn't that just faking it till you make it? And not really. See, this isn't about being fake or inauthentic. It's about practicing. You are practicing the mindset and the behaviors of your future self. Because pretending is practice. And if you practice something enough, eventually it stops being an act and it just becomes who you are.
So when you put all these pieces together, all 5 of these habits, you start to see something really powerful. For so long, we've treated confidence like it's some kind of mysterious cosmic force, like it's magic. But it's not. It's math. It's a simple, predictable outcome. It's an equation that you can actually solve.
And here are the variables right here. It's the sum of the small promises you keep to yourself, plus the wins you actually take the time to track. That's multiplied by the supportive environment you design for yourself. And it's all strengthened by the discomfort you're willing to embrace and guided by the identity you choose to anchor yourself to. You get these inputs right, and the output, automatic confidence, well, it becomes pretty much inevitable.
So that really just leaves us with one final and I think most important question. Because this isn't about just knowing the theory, it's about putting it into practice, like right now. So I want you to think about it. What is the first tiny micro promise that you are going to make and keep for yourself today?